Greetings. We are watching Building Community, a sacred space where we are free to share our wisdom throughout our own personal experiences. Through this community, I set an intention of personal and community expansion for those speaking as well as for those watching. Today we have the beautiful Emily, and
Mhm.
today's topic is trusting my inner guidance. And I wanted to
Yeah.
invite Emily today because she is on a beautiful journey of expansion. She is in her awakening process, and she's been sharing with me a little bit of what she's been experiencing through this newfound journey, right?
Yeah.
A remembrance back to her essence. And I've been connecting with Emily for a while, and a lot of grounding energy comes from her. So if you want to share a
Thank
little bit
you.
more to that, feel
It
free.
all started with the bracelet.
Yeah, she did. She ordered a bracelet for me, and I started connecting with her energy, and I saw the beautiful grounding stuff, and then the dryads, and just a life, uh, not past life, but one of her lifetimes. And I was like,
Yeah,
wow, so
yeah,
incredible,
it's amazing.
very grounding. Yes.
Mhm.
So, Emily, how has your awakening process shifted in your outer world? Let's start with that. How has, like, job wise, friendships, family wise dynamics, in a quick summary without too many details, like how have you experienced things like that? And I know it comes with challenges, and also solutions if you're in this process of understanding
Yeah,
more.
yeah. So there's a couple of things in my life that I was really sort of pushing against. So currently it was the home ed situation with Brad. If you want me to summarize it, because I can go on a tangent, guys, so I'm going to try and keep it as short as I can. But
Totally.
basically, he's diagnosed autistic and ADHD now. At one point, I wanted to get him diagnosed, but the person I am now probably wouldn't get him diagnosed because I just see him as him. And he was having a lot of troubles in school, and he came out of school. I pulled him out of school because there was just no kind of seeing past what was going on. They were trying to support me, but and then it was kind of a case of like home editing him, and then I sort of went into a panic of because I came out my job and I'm a single parent, so I was like, oh, I've lost my purpose. I've lost, like, I used to go to this place every day, and it made me feel really odd to come out of that. And for ages, I was like trying to find him a school, like what we'd call a special school, which would be for autistic, SEND children. And even that system was fighting against me everywhere I turned. It was like a no and everything. And eventually, down the line, I started obviously going to groups because I didn't want him just sitting doing nothing. And I went to a place called Send Socials. So, like, two of the main ones are Send Socials and Forest School. So, like, shout out to Mike, by the way.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so Forest School and Send Socials. And as I met people like on the journey of home ed, it made me feel really calm and connected with other people. And obviously, instead of me, because I'd come out of my job and I wasn't working anymore, I was actually like playing, if you know what I mean. I was kind of going to groups with my son and always getting involved with play with him.
Mm.
So I thought to myself, there came a point where it was like just a moment where I just thought, why am I letting all this emails, everything, advocates, why am I letting it all consume me?
Right.
Because it's taking my attention away from what's most precious. And then at one point, I had a lot of fear about, oh, is he going to get a score? It was a lot of worry. But now it's more like I'm really happy to home edit. I'll do it indefinitely because I feel like it was a path that was meant for me.
Right.
Just through like what we would call vibration and the vibration I get from other moms. some of them will come in my life and come out of my life, but that's for a good reason.
Hmm.
For a, for an that'd be my higher self. If someone comes in my life, comes out of my life, that'd be my higher self moving them out of the way. And I understand that now, but I didn't see anything like that before. I was just very kind of blinded, and it was all, oh no, what am I going to do?
Hmm. So in some way, it feels like maybe your son was that
Yeah,
experience, like him. He's the one that kind of like awoke you through his experience,
yeah.
journey here. So
And yeah, I've
and then
noticed
it
he's
brought
quite,
you to the people you've met, like
oh yeah,
in a sense.
he's quite intuitive himself as well, and I've noticed that
Mhm.
more kind of vividly like recently.
Yeah.
But obviously the reason I'm noticing that is because I've had that time and space to connect with him more. So, and there's other things that have on in my life as well. So there was like I started to sort of shift, but right gently when I was healing from my ex. But I won't touch on that too much because I feel like I'm giving him the airtime.
Mhm. No,
But
don't do it. Well,
but
your experiences.
yeah, yeah. But he basically did like he was what I'm not going to call him a narcissist because actually I look at it now as he's done a lot for me.
Yeah.
And he was meant to cause me so much pain and trigger me to the point where I was like almost didn't know what freedom was because he took my freedom away. With little thing, every day it was just there was something I was doing wrong, or I was like weak, I was this person, all the names under the sun.
Hmm.
But then, eventually I came out of that and I had the strength to kind of say, I don't want this anymore. But it took me a while, but I kind of, he actually made me appreciate through going through that, the tiny little things that
Hmm.
freedom is that someone else would take for granted. So, like, just sitting in silence or having a cup of tea and just sitting there and you haven't got to answer to anyone.
Hmm.
And and then I started to sort of come out my shell, and this is where I started to socialize more and become like who I am, not who he wanted me to be.
Hmm.
So that's kind of like two examples of, you know,
Yeah.
shift happening in me.
Yeah. There's definitely it's like an egg, right? And the inside
Yeah,
is like the bright yellow eggshell or whatever, And then the egg is
yeah,
just like really hard outside, but it's like when you crack it, then you see like the yellow too
yeah,
represents like the sun, and like the gold. I
yeah.
think there's also a story that things um I think it's like in Asia. I don't know. I'm gonna butcher it. But things that are back with gold, right? Like they're like statues they're put back with
Yeah,
gold. And I feel like
yeah,
that's kind of part of the journey is finding that gold inside of us, and things that broke us. They broke us to have our our light shine, you know?
yeah.
And
They broke us so we could bloom and we could grow.
yeah, and
So, but I see that now.
yeah, and you gain like a new set of perspective, a new set of eyes to see all the
Yeah,
beauty that is around you, and now you value everything that you go through,
yeah, and like, just human experiences. Like, like when you were talking about kindness and that. Like I notice people around me as well. I can see something happening. I might be in like somewhere random, like McDonald's or something, anywhere, and I can see when there's like a human exchange, but the other person hasn't really. It didn't really matter to that other person. The person that was having the exchange. Whereas like I can't put it into words. It's really hard to kind of describe things sometimes, isn't it?
Mhm.
Just like little things like someone's helped you with something little and you're like really thankful. But I don't think people quite know how thankful you are. Like if it was me like back ages ago, there were things that I wouldn't have noticed, and I wouldn't have probably appreciated as much as I do now.
Yeah, it's like valuing things,
Yeah, yeah,
even little things like kindness, it's
yeah.
so
We all
powerful.
love we all love kindness.
Yeah. And so with that, like finding new family, like, I think you said you found like new groups and you learn how to decipher which people like are staying in your life and which people were
Yeah,
meant only for a short period of time, and then you understand that, and it's just
I do. Yeah,
like you're
I
not.
do. I do understand. And there was one time where if someone had drift come out of my life, and maybe they'd even point blank said, I'm not your friend anymore. That whatever it is they say to me, that's them kind of ending the friendship. It would have been me there, like, oh no, overthinking what's wrong with me, why don't they like
Yeah.
me? And then obviously you try and change yourself to mold yourself into like a box or become someone you're not, and then actually you're not really being true to yourself. So I was doing that a lot. I used to do that when I was in my jobs as well. I don't work anymore because obviously Brad's out of school, but in my jobs it was like
It's like
I
the
used to get
we put
I used
on.
to get a lot of, what did you say? Sorry,
It's
sorry.
like the mask, like we put on these masks
The
to
math,
try
yeah.
to fit in, but it doesn't
Yeah, yeah,
it doesn't work sometimes.
yeah. I used to do it a hell of a lot. I used to just think like, yeah, just it was more just in my jobs because I had to be there every day. I didn't feel like I had a choice. So I'd try and be a different person and probably try and be funny, but then probably wasn't funny because I was pretending to be funny.
Hmm.
I don't know, but yeah, I'm definitely myself now, like 100%.
Yeah.
I just I don't let anything mold me. I don't let anything, well, the word control, like control me really. I just get on with what I'm doing, and anything that comes out of my life, I don't question it anymore.
Right.
I just think it's just that's meant to be. And it's so easy. Like I used to be so frustrated about these things, but it's so easy now for me to go, oh, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay.
So, now that you have more dedication to your sons, and like you say, you had to shift from working. Let's hit that topic of, I know you mentioned how now you trust in, okay, I'm not working, but I understand that I am I'm being given all my resources without having
Mm,
to burn myself in a job, because even if you try, from my experience, going back to a job, it doesn't work. It just
no.
doesn't work. So how was that transition in learning how to trust your
So I'm going to use a word for it, and I think it's like the word is magic because like since I've had this shift, I've been telling people, don't if you're gonna, regarding friendships as well. I had a friend for 7 years, and well, she a lot of stuff was going on for her, and I just eventually realized it's because when you like when you keep talking about the negative things and like woe is me and that kind of thing. I'm not trying to be horrible to anyone. I still love her. We're no longer friends. I love her from afar, but there's a lot of negative stuff that will then be drawn to you.
Mhm.
Whereas if you just like let things go and trust that I know this sounds sick because this is all I'm having like new revelations. Like things are just going to work out. It's going to be okay, and even if it doesn't seem okay, that's because eventually it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
You know, and what you put out, if you put out that energy, you'll be matched where you are. So, and that's the way. That's kind of when you say about the transition with the work, and obviously going in Brad and going into home ed. That is kind of what happened to me. I did just have to let go and and think, it doesn't really matter about the outcome. It doesn't matter if you get to school or not. Why does that matter? Nothing matters really.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've got him, he's got me,
Yeah.
and I didn't have him for him to sit with someone else who I don't even know for 6 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the way I see it.
Yeah. And also too how you brought up the part of play, like
Yeah,
you play, you
yeah,
put out this intention out that, this is your world is fun, your world is joyous, and
it
you
is
you're
very fun.
pushing out all the density, and that's very important for people to kind of understand
Yeah,
that like playfulness is such a powerful tool, like, and it's something that
it really is.
becomes natural for us if we just learn to to
Well, you go back to the innocence of being
yeah.
a child. So obviously, like I said, like there's the two main groups we go to. I mean, like when I go to forest when I first started going to forest school, and we were doing things like creating fairy houses
Mhm.
and like conker rolling and
Yeah.
just stuff that's like really cool. I just absolutely I've got no words for it actually. It's absolutely amazing. It's just
Mhm.
I can't really. It's just magical. It really is.
I love that. And to like you're also tuning into like that innocence, but the inner child within you, and like
Yeah,
your child,
yeah,
when our inner child needs to feel safe, regardless of what age we are. We gotta make sure our inner child feels safe, and having fun makes them feel more safe, because your nervous system relaxes and you're able to just
and
flow and be free and playful, and who gives a shit
yeah.
what people think,
Well,
I'm
you regulated
gonna do
and it's true. It's true. You regulated and like when you become an adult and you get all these things like bills and everything, it kind of dims your light. So obviously, if
this.
you look at a child, they don't care. Like I suppose they
They
get to an age
trust,
where
they
they start.
actually
They
trust you.
don't care they don't care what anyone thinks. They're just them playing
Yeah.
in this magical light,
Yeah.
and they don't feel any judgment. And I feel like it'd be a wonderful world if we could all go back to those moments. I mean, I've started
Because if we pay
obviously.
attention, like when we were kids, we just relied on our parents to
Yeah,
make it work for us, right? To feed us,
yeah,
to provide and everything. And we never like worried about that. So in a sense,
yeah,
it's like that's how we connect with the universe, like how it kind of
yeah.
should be, like just trust it and it's gonna
Oh,
provide for us.
yeah. I've noticed as well, like when I was more tense back in the day, it'd be like, "Mummy, can we do this?" And I'd think, "Oh, it's going to make a mess." No, no, because I've got to clean it up. But now I sort of put myself in their head. I think actually, but why am I actually saying no? Why? Like, did I not enjoy that when I was a child? Like, they wanted to get the cushions out yesterday on a trampoline, which is, I was like, don't take the cushions out there. And then I said, actually, you know what? Screw it, just take the cushions out. It's fine.
Right? You're
Yeah,
like, wait, they're up to something, and maybe I want to see what
yeah,
this needs.
yeah. You've just got to let them explore and let them
Yeah.
navigate themselves. And even in social situations, they're learning. They're learning all the time. So,
And
yeah,
it's important to give that much, like, connect with their kids that much, because you are
yeah,
you're the one teaching them, that you're the one they look up to, and for them to see a healthy parent, like, as long
yeah,
they want to see a happy mom, and that's so important. They don't want to see like the stressful mom. They rather have that healthy mom that's loving them unconditionally, and just
yeah,
pouring her wisdom, like you're learning so much, and then you're able to speak, and then they could hear you,
yeah.
you know.
I mean, you can't pour from an empty cup. Your cup needs to be full. Well, no, I'm not saying it has to be full. What I'm saying is, like, I feel like if I've got a full cup, then they've got a full cup.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like we have to
Yeah.
also like think about that, we are an example, you
Oh
know.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And
So
I want to lead them in a positive way.
yeah. And I think you're doing great, like I see how much you're with them, and then when you connect with me, like it's all about your sons, and it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's conscious parenting, and that's how it should be, and
Yeah. I mean, I've spoken a lot about Brad, but I do want to make sure to mention I do have another son called Morgan. So,
yeah.
I've got two boys and Morgan is in school. I've offered him to be home educated, but he said no to me, and I said to him that's absolutely fine because he's got his own journey,
Mm-hmm.
and I will just support whatever he wants in at that time.
Yeah.
So, there's no kind of, oh, you must come out of school. I'm
Yeah. And you're honoring his decisions, and
honoring it. Yeah.
that's his path, like you kind of mentioned. And we can't control other people's past, even our children, if this is what they want, you have to let them learn in that way, and
Yeah.
I know he's gonna value you when he gets old, like my mom allowed me to stay in school, and I learned, or I chose to
Yeah.
keep on my own, and she gave me that opportunity.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you like consciously thinking about him and his well-being, and his mental health, and what he needs
Yeah.
in this world, and you're just there to guide him and
His, his,
support
his
him.
path is laid out the way it's meant to be laid out for him. And
Mhm.
things will come for him eventually. We don't know what that is yet, but you know, things will just it'll be laid out how he is.
Yeah. So I know you're very like outspoken, and you have like it feels like you're building a beautiful community around you and around your
Mm.
children. So with that, like how do you feel your community around you, the support you've been getting? How has that um like helped in your journey? Like what are the positive things that you've been able to accomplish?
So obviously my main community, and I know this sounds like I'm talking about Brad a lot, but because it is my life, it is home ed, he's with me every day. So
Mhm.
my community is moms. It's a community of moms basically. And I've got my family, and my mom is absolutely brilliant. They have the boys for me one weekend every month, so I get a break. But yeah, again, I've made like really solid friendships in these groups, and it makes me feel seen. So I feel seen by people is what I get from it. I can just I feel like, there's a different energy coming off. I'm not trying to be any kind of way to school moms, but
Mm-hmm.
there's just a different energy that I feel in the home ed community where I feel more seen, and the vibrations are kind of like on the same level.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so let me just try and yeah, like, and obviously we support each other with our children as well. So, if there's been an altercation between Brad and another child, there's no judgment. There's no, oh, oh, but you're well, okay. I won't lie. There have been a couple of things, but I chose not to react because I'm not the person that reacts anymore. But I won't go into that. But that's another thing. But the people that come to me, the people that are meant to come to me, and the people that are other types of ways to me,
Yeah.
naturally just are moved out my way by my higher self. So it's like a win-win anyway.
Yeah.
um, and I've got a really good friend. I've got like I've got a friend in a group called Send Socials. I've got a friend called Hero in Forest School.
Mm-hmm.
I just know, you just know your people.
Yeah.
You just know.
To
There
trust
doesn't need
them.
to there doesn't need to be any words. You just like
So it's like a
connection.
more of a telepathic, intuitive
Yeah, that's it.
connection that you got like led to that
But
person.
it really does something for me, that does. It can actually like give me, so I can come home after those days and think like that made me really happy, that made me
Yeah.
really fulfilled and like not like
Yeah.
wholesome and no, and then I feel like I know that I'm on the right track, and
Mm.
it's I might be single parenting, but that's okay, because I don't need that other person necessarily because I've got all these other wonderful people surrounding me
It's like,
and uplifting me.
yeah, it's like finding those that don't drain you. When you get to
That's it.
get home, you feel like I had a great day, opposed to like, oh my God, I'm so burned out. It's like
Yeah.
they're pouring to your cup too there, and then it's like a vice versa, like pouring to the cup.
Like, yeah, and touching on that as well, when I might be having a day where I think, I'm not really in a social mood because I describe myself as like an introverted extrovert, so I can just be a hermit in my house
Yeah.
one day, and then I'll be like a social butterfly another day. So those friends that I've made, if I go quiet, it's not, they're not there like, oh, are you okay? Like, what's
Yeah.
going on? They just know
Respect
that we just
your
know that.
they respect you.
Yeah, yeah. So it's nice to have that kind of balance
Yeah.
where you're not trying to fit into a mold of, oh, I should be there, I should go there and push myself to go there and meet that person
Hmm.
when maybe you just feel really tired or drained and you just don't want to do it.
Yeah. No, I get you. So, is there any advice you have for people? They're like learning
Yeah.
to follow trusting their guidance and intuition. Like, what would you want to tell them?
I would say trust the process, let go. And even if you don't think it's going to work, it it's just you don't know until you try and let go. You're not going to know.
Mm.
You just got to do it. You just got to go, right. Oh, I kind of surrender to whatever's going on, and then you'll find that a lot will come to you that was meant for you in quite big ways, and that's my advice.
Beautiful. I love it. Perfect. Well,
Mhm.
thank you, Emily. And
That's okay.
if there's anybody watching and they have similar experiences or they're on the same journey, beginning an awakening, and you guys will want to share, please let us know. Let us message me or, put it in the comments. And, you know, it's really beautiful when we're growing. And I say we're growing together, like in this beautiful crazy journey. We don't know what's happening, but
Yeah,
we're coming in with our hearts full of trust, and we've seen results when we're in this space that are more of positivity and of love, and it's just been beautiful seeing your journey, Emily, and I'm
thank you.
so honored to be here today with you, and I'm sending you and everybody else lots and lots of love. Take care.
Yeah, and to you. Lots of love to you too. Bye bye.